Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I was thinking about how my mindset has been to try to not overwhelm my loved ones with what it is that I've been throwing myself at in regards to what it is I'm seeing. In regards to Gaza, I kind of going on social media, speaking my piece and doing all the stuff that I do, but I'm not sending videos to other people of the horrors that I'm seeing. I'm not doing that. As important as I think it is for everybody to be on board with at least understanding what's going on, having a deeper understanding of what's happening, and I think a lot of people really need to see what's going on, specifically with just how horrific these images are and just how plentiful the footage is. Some people, as I've said many times in this camera, are just not wired for what it is that is going on there. But I think the world is changing in such a way to where even if they're not, they should probably, especially in this country, be aware of what's going on. And so today, I sent a few things to my friend Kay. Not anything that I thought would trigger her, because I know she's been through something that was really traumatic just as recently as maybe 5 months ago. That would, likely would trigger her, you know what I mean? Things that she sees in these images would bring her straight back to that. But I did want to send her some of the things that I've been looking at in regards to like speaking on the situation, so that people will understand what's being floated around. And she ended up clicking on something that ended up triggering her. And it's one of those situations where it's like she only clicked on it because she was trying to engage in it in regards to myself. She's only moderately understanding of what's happening. But once I sent certain things, her initial reaction was, you need to stay off of that and focus on yourself. And my thing was, this is me focusing on myself, because my legacy is having a channel, and what I want to do on this channel has a lot to do with speaking out against things that I think are unjust, or speaking up for people that I think can't speak for themselves. And when it comes to children, because of the things I've been through, I want to definitely use my voice for the betterment of them. And so I think in trying to, I guess, do it for me more or less, she started looking into it a little more, and then she found something that she couldn't see without crying, and she told me, she was like, more or less, you may think I think she said cold, or whatever the word would be. I'm not sure, something along the lines of that, but I just gotta shut my mind off from this. I can't, I don't have all the answers. I wish I did, but I can't really view this right now. And I didn't really know how to respond to that. If anything, I just felt like, for myself, I just needed to give her the distance she needed. I didn't need to say anything else, you know what I mean? Like, I'd already done enough damage, but I didn't necessarily send that to her. She just kind of went down a rabbit hole herself and saw an image of a lady holding the white, wrapping with her child in it, and just crying over it. And she says she knows how that feels, because she went through that in her situation, and she knows exactly how that feels. And we were talking on DMs, so it's like, I was telling her, like, that's a soft image in comparison to what I've seen. Like, I've seen real gore. Like, that is the kindest way, not way, but one of the softest images in regards to all of this. And most of us know that. If you've been following this, some of the people, Sean King, if you've been following people who've really been showing what's happening there, you know that the gore is just like what was unthinkable to have seen just a month ago is now something you see every 3 minutes if you're looking at my phone, because of all the people that I follow that are dealing with that. It's like it's overwhelming how desensitized I've become in regards to seeing this type of thing. So it's like, that's what I was saying to her, and she was really telling me like she was having a hard time with it. Like seeing that image took her back there and she had to walk away. And throughout the course of the day after that whole exchange, I was just sitting here saying, well, what do I do? How do I, not undo what it is that I've done, but, how do I absorb what this is? Because for me, I'm going to be talking about this and I'm passionate about it, but I'm keeping it from my loved ones because I don't want to trigger her. You know what I mean? It's like something that is really affecting me in such a passionate way, something that's really traumatic in my own life. I can't share with my friend there, and it's like, that's important that I keep that balance to say, yeah, this is important to me and I want to dump it out there to the people I care about, but I also don't want to make life worse for them and by way of what it is that I'm seeing. And I was praying about it, I prayed about it. Afterwards, I took a little bit of a nap. I woke up thinking about the same thing, and I meditated on the situation further, and what ended up coming to me was two things. The first thing is, the Lord put her through that specific thing that she went through in preparation for this. That's what came to me. It was like she went through that for what she went through to kind of help her relate in the way that she did. And although it triggered her, she can relate to it, and that is not something that I need to think I did something wrong in regards to. She will be able to console people because of the specifics of what she's been through and how it went. She knows that life and that feeling in a way that she never would have had the Lord not put that situation in her life. No different than what I was telling you guys earlier in my therapy session, walking down the street earlier, saying that the Lord was preparing me by making me straighten up and fly right in my life and stop toying around with certain things I was toying around with, so that when I got to this space, I would have a responsible voice that otherwise wouldn't have been as responsible. It's like my own personal world, the things that I was dealing with, the Lord had to snatch me out of Linux, as I was telling you guys, and everything that I was doing over there, put me through everything He's put me through over here, so that now when this is happening, I'm viewing it a certain way, I'm talking about it a certain way, I'm clear of thought because I ain't smoking weed, I'm not wasting time doing other things that I otherwise probably would have been doing with my time, so that I am focused in a different way. The Lord is preparing His people by way of the circumstances that they got going on in their individual lives for what it is that He's doing in the world and how He wants them to affect the world with those things happen. And this is what He's done to both of us. He put us both through the hardest stuff. This has been the hardest year of her life and the hardest year of my life. And now at the end of that year, the world is going through the terror of all of our generation's life. And that is not a coincidence. And the Lord said, the second thing that came to me while I was meditating was, you didn't do this to her. Those who terrorized the Palestinians have traumatized the world by doing so. They did that to her, just like they did this to you. And it was like, because I was telling God, I'm so sorry for taking her down that rabbit hole and having her be triggered by this. But it's like, no, the Lord is like, you're doing what I'm telling you to do, which is get involved with the voice that I've given you. Stay on the right side of the spirit, so to speak, without doing anything that otherwise I don't appreciate, so that you can be in a position to inform others and be in a position to speak this way. You're close to me, and that is why I'm moving you this way. It's no different than I was telling you guys about the accident that ultimately led to me having the phone call that I needed. If I wasn't going through all that I was going through, I wouldn't have my phone in my hand. It's the same thing. He essentially put in my heart to say, like, they did this to you, but I'm molding you a certain way, putting you through a difficult thing so that by the time you got to this point, you were as strong as you need to be. And what she went through ain't no different. Y'all have a role to play in each other's lives, and by way of my voice, I have a role to play in this camera for whoever follows me for all time. And these times that we're in needed for us to have gone through what we went through in our personal lives in order to be who we need to be for what this world is about to be, as I've already said. So that's what came to me. It's like, when you meditate on this, you don't have to apologize to me for informing your friend about the horrors of this world. It was your concern that she wouldn't be prepared that ultimately put you in a position to inform her in the way that you did. And it was also your care and your concern for her trauma, which kept you in a space where you protected her from what it is that ultimately you were exposed to. You were thinking about her betterment throughout the whole thing. And that's what the Lord was helping me understand. Like, you never walked away from her best interest in anything that you've tried to do in regards to the situation, but it got to a point where you started realizing there was a shift in the world, and that she may not necessarily be aware of what it is that's out there. The context from which is important for all of us to understand that, this ain't just another one of those overseas conflicts that we need to just kind of look at and say, blah, blah, blah. They always fight, and they've been fighting since the beginning of time. This ain't that. This is something that's changing the world. This is something that's obviously unique in the sense that a lot of celebrities ain't speaking about it, but probably should be, and are not because of who's behind them, and therefore this, that, and the third, as we've already talked about. And it's like, this ain't something you want your loved ones not to understand the context that you understand. You may not want them to see everything you've seen, but they do need to understand why the whole world is coming together in regards to this, and why some of the superpowers in this world are probably not going to be in power for much longer because of this event. The way the country is, this particular country, we're the enemy of the world right now. And so it's like, you don't want your friend who is very much outside of the understanding of what's going on to be that far out of that understanding. You want her to see what you see so she can be prepared as anybody else you would want anybody else to be. And so that's what the Lord was helping me understand, that my heart was in the right place and that I was aligned with Him in everything in regards to sharing that with her, and that I don't need to apologize to Him for triggering her because I didn't do that. She went down that rabbit hole after me suggesting through what it is that I sent, which wasn't traumatic. And what she saw was something that she could relate to, and that relate was just infinite pain that someone had gone through for losing their loved one in the way that they did. And that the Lord put that in her life not to torture her, but to make her relatable to what it is that she's now going to be seeing in this world by way of this event, and maybe anything else that may be coming down the pipeline. And that healing is imminent for her. She's definitely going to heal, and I'm definitely going to be different going forward in regards to the changes that I've been forced to make by way of the mistakes that I made that led to this situation that ultimately has matured me in the way that it has. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. All of that's lining up for us to be who we need to be in the world we're now going to be in, which is changing around us. So as I speak in circles, I just want y'all to understand that, meditating has brought me to this space. I didn't know how to console my friend. I didn't know how to view myself in regards to this. I thought I had failed in everything I was trying to do there. I failed in protecting her from those images, and I failed to help her understand the importance of what it was, but I didn't. And that's when the faith has to kick in and say, the Lord is going to take it from here. Now she will get informed in whatever way she needs to, and the Lord will protect her in whatever way He needs to, and so long as she stays close to Him, which is not something I have any control over. My worry was that she was going to spiral. She was doing so much to try to heal herself. Now she's, because of something I sent her, she going to go back into that space. And that's what I was worried about, but that's not what faith is telling me, not at all. That she is getting stronger. By way of her trauma, she will be able to relate to things, and that relatability is important, and it has nothing to do with me. you know, that I need to continue to stay close to God so he can keep on telling me these things. And so that's what came to me, man. I prayed throughout the whole last 2 hours. Since I woke up from that nap, I meditated, took another shower, meditated some more inside of their shower, praying about the whole thing. Came back over here, prayed some more after the shower. Like, I wanted to prepare myself to make this video, because it was something that I was meditating over a great deal in regards to me being at fault. And the Lord helped me understand that I was not at fault. This is one of the perfect mistakes, or rather one of those circumstances that look a certain way but actually is going to line up a different way, and it was meant to be that way. So that's what I wanted to say, man. I just wanted to document that occurrence because it's aligned with everything else we've been talking about. The Lord is doing things, and if you're paying close enough attention in your own life, you'll see how he's molding you for the new world you're going to be in. And if you allow him in, he will definitely do that. So that's pretty much what I have to say. God bless everybody who's watching me. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.